To start off this review, some poetry is in order. Cameron's Ponyville Misadventures 2. CPM2, what is wrong with you? Your grammar is iffy, your spelling is wrong. To get me through you I used a bong. Your characters are bland. Your plot line up in smoke. Changelings defeated with merely some jokes. Your self-insert mag caused my skin pores to bleed. Just now I found some bits of my bladder in my pee. Your words inflict that much hurt. I tried to make it to the finish. Through a written Vietnam I charged. Through pain and despair I barged. Hoping to end my suffering. With much celebrating I reached the end. Tears flowing from my head. In the monumental run. I had reached for my gun. And almost offed myself. So had my words, vile FIC. Child of a lunatic. Never come near me again. For you are as terrible as AIDS, times 10. Now that that's over, on to the actual story. I won't be a tiny bit of me died today, as I read this. The premise follows the first story in the series, a FIC. That not even the soothing effect of poetry could possibly make bearable. To sum up, Cameron, a self-insert mick, with the appeal of a half-cooked paste of asparagus smothered in lard made from the corpses of Himalayan yaks, goes to Equestria, and makes friends before becoming a hero. The originality caused my nipples to explode with delight, and let's just say that I no longer am allowed back into the WIFI area of McDonald's. First thing we see is this warning sign here. Author's note. Again, I always make a short and brief prologue. And don't criticize my work this time, okay? Just tell me what I need to fix. Don't say my story is bad, just tell me how to improve without pointing out the flaws. Just on a personal note, I advised the writer to lengthen his chapters to at least 1,000 words, and he not only deleted the comment, but blocked me as well. So much for my budding career as editor. It started like this. 1 year later, I was in my house, hanging out with my friends Austin, Dylan, Dominic, and Drew, and Nick. We decided to hang out in an alley and talk about a variety of subjects like fanfics, art, video games, etc. When a portal suddenly appeared in the alley, I just realized. It was the same portal that Twilight made to send me back to Earth. Twilight actually made a portal that can reach Earth from Equestria. Like 2 cups on an end of a string. Do you know, because alleyways are the perfect hangouts in which talk about fanfiction and video games. Let's just hope that the mugger with the knife is too threatened by our amazing swag to try anything. Not to mention the topic of art thrown in the middle of that. Note to author, R63 Discord, in a maid outfit does not count as art. Twilight actually made a portal that can reach Earth from Equestria. Like 2 cups on an end of a string. Every scientist in the world just had their heads implode from this awesome revelation. Might be some weird sorcery. Dominic answered. He was both black and white, because he was Italian, and shorter than us. He had a dark blue shirt on with blue jeans, and blue shoes. From now on you have to read Dominic as Mario, because racial striving is fun. Not that I'm too sure about his race, given that he is apparently a human zebra. The terms, olive-skinned, or Mediterranean in appearance, are far too casual for this masterpiece. Just like the red mixed with blue vomit that I expelled as I read this. We looked around, seeing the bright colors and beautiful scenery outside of Ponyville. Whoa, was this the thing that you were talking about, Cameron? I heard Nick ask me in amazement. I just nodded, not saying a single word. Come with me, the city is just ahead. I said, as I lead them into Ponyville. Cameron? I heard a voice shout as a familiar yellow pony jumped in my arms. Fluttershy? I asked, hugging her tightly. Why yes, it's me, Cameron. I saw her other 5 friends standing behind her. Nice to see you again, Mares. You too, Sugar Cube. Applejack said, in her usual Western accent. Then my friends introduced themselves, the main 6 doing the same. It's nice to meet you. All of you are Cameron's friends, right? Twilight asked. Yeah. Dominic responded. I looked around. Is my house still here? Twee nodded. Yes it is. Are they friendly? Dylan shyly asked. What do you think, Dylan? Austin asked Dylan sarcastically. Austin. I heard Andrew speak up. What? I'm just messing with him. Austin quickly spoke. Okay. I looked at my friends. You can move in with me. Really? Austin asked. I nodded. Of course. Well, the rest of the day we spent unpacking our belongings and moving in. Now drop there. You may ask, why did you just post that small amount of text in a quote box? I'll tell you why, that there is a whole chapter, no joke, the amount of errors in here is so great that I had to hire a supercomputer to attempt to count them all. The owner said that he would get back to me in a month. The main 6 stopped by at my house today. They just chatted with my friends, asking how life on Earth was and other things. My friends just acted cool, like usual. Twee seemed very interested. She's interested, mostly in books. Then she took us to see Princess Celestia. It's been a long time, Cameron. Princess Celestia said to me. Then she took us to see Princess Celestia. I read, took, as, drugged us, sold us for 3 hours to Big Mac, for happy fun times, then threw us all into a black windowless carriage. Hours later, me and my friends decided to walk around Ponyville with the main 6 and hang around at restaurants and other neat places. Thanks for the trip, Twee. I thanked Twilight. You're welcome, Cameron. Then we saw smoke from a distance. What is that? Austin asked. We better check it out. Rainbow Dash answered as we hurried to the source of the smoke. One of the schools was on fire, and some of the fillies were outside, along with some teachers. Some of the fillies are still inside. One of the teachers yelled. I just ran to the building. I couldn't let those younglings burn to death. What in tarnation are you doing? I heard Applejack yell at me from behind. But I didn't stop. I couldn't. When I reached the building, Austin was behind me, and he kicked the door down. Come on, he yelled, as he went, and I followed him inside. We couldn't really see anything, due to the smoke. We heard the sobbing of fillies. We began to walk towards the sound. As the sounds got louder, we approached 3 fillies huddled in a corner. Don't worry. We're getting you out, I said, as I picked them up. Rainbow Dash was at the window, outside. We kept passing fillies to her, one by one. Hurry. It's coming down, he yelled, as he ran out. I was on his tail as he ran out. But as I ran out, a huge log of wood fell on my back, and I was on fire. Luckily, Austin put me out before I was burned. But that was the last thing I saw before I blacked out. 2 hours later, I woke up in the hospital and saw Fluttershy sitting at my side, with tears in her eyes. Oh, Cameron. She hugged me. I thought you were about to die. Fluttershy, I'd never leave you, I said, as I hugged back. The same teacher that was outside of the burning school walked in. Now call me retarded, but I could have sworn the Mick had previously been to Ponyville, loved Fluttershy, and then went back to Earth. So Fluttershy, I'd never leave you, seems to be as true as my love for High School Musical. This is completely ignoring the fact that a random fire just starts, allowing the Mick to bust in like a hero and save 3 foals. Some of the fillies are still inside. One of the teachers yelled. I just ran to the building. I couldn't let those younglings burn to death. I could have sworn that Anakin Skywalker already killed the younglings with lightsabers, but maybe that's just my inner Star Wars nerd emerging. Me and Fluttershy were at home, talking about the incident. Are you okay? I'm fine, Fluttershy. Then she kissed me. Do you know I love you, right? I do. A guard came in and looked at me. Princess Luna wants to see you. Well, those guards are apparently good for something after all, cock-blocking. Who's Princess Luna? I asked. Then I remembered the Alicorn that walked past me when I was meeting Princess Celestia for the first time. Oh, I remember now. Okay. Take me to her. I followed him as he led me to Princess Luna's room. They walked for several days and nights until they reached the bedchambers of the flaxen-haired maiden. That or they teleported, whatever. She turned around and slowly trotted to me. I heard about you rescuing those fillies from that burning school. You have? Yes. They talked about you and your friends being heroes. Really? She nodded. I thank you. I smiled. You're welcome. Come. She slowly trotted to the balcony as I followed her. We both looked up at the starry skies and the moon. She looked at the moon and sighed sadly. I looked at her. What's wrong? I was banished to the moon for a long time. I didn't ask why, because I didn't want to bother her. So I let her keep talking. My sister raises the sun, and I raise the moon. Your sister? Oh, you mean Princess Celestia? She nodded. I refused to raise the sun, and just snowballed from there. She nodded again. Why now, on Earth, the moon was where some humans wanted to go. She looked at me. Why was that? Because to them, it was a mystery of what it was like on the moon. No one has been there. But Neil Armstrong found a way. Who's Neil Armstrong? He's an astronaut. A person, or pony, who travels to the moon. How did he do it? I smiled. By a rocket ship. He was known as the first man to walk the moon. She smiled a bit. And also, Luna means moon in Spanish. Wait, there is more than one language on Earth. I nodded. Lots of languages. She smiled at me and hugged me. Thanks for talking to me, Cameron. I grinned. No problem, Luna. Neil Armstrong found a way. What a fool I was to assume that the combined efforts of multiple scientists, engineers, and various other people actually made the moon landing a possibility. No, good old Armstrong flew up to the moon on the power of dreams. A few guards told me to go to Canterlot with my friends and the main 6. What's going on? I tried to ask them, but they didn't answer. After a long walk, we arrived at Canterlot, and the guards led us to Shining Armor. Brother, what's wrong? We asked him. Princess Cadence is missing. He answered. The main 6 gasped. Nightmare Moon again? I spoke up. He shook his head. I don't know. Then a black alicorn appeared with green bug-like wings. She laughed and Shining Armor shot up from his seat. Queen Chrysalis? He shouted. At least it's not Nightmare Moon, I thought. Let me guess. I spoke up. You're trying to destroy Equestria for some evil purpose instead of forever casting it into darkness. Am I correct? That's too good for a guess. Chrysalis laughed. She looked at Shining Armor. I have your beloved Princess Cadance. Oh wow. What a surprise. Dominic said out loud, sarcastically. I saw some of the guards trying to hold in their laughter. Dominic was popular for his humor. Who does she think she is? A fly? Some of the guards started laughing. She growled. You have not seen the last of me. She hissed as she disappeared. Truly, his wit is sharper than any blade, his comedic insults more damaging than even the largest nuclear weapon. Who does she think she is? A fly? Ouch, feel the burn you bitch. You just got dominated. For the record, changelings are smexy, and all thoughts to the contrary are wrong. Wait. I heard her yell. I looked at her. Yep. I forgot to give you something. Her horn glowed, revealing an axe, a double sword, a bowstaff, a great sword, a katana, and a short sword. Take these with you. They aid you. I grabbed the great sword, Dylan grabbed the short sword, Nick grabbed the axe, Dominic grabbed the katana, Andrew grabbed the double sword, and Austin grabbed the bowstaff. Good luck, my friends, she said to us as we ran back to Canterlot. After we were told where to go, we began to walk to Queen Chrysalis' place. Where did you get the weapons? Twee asked. Princess Celestia gave it to us, I answered. We came across 3 dogs that were like humans. Oh great, not them again. I heard Rarity say behind me, I'm guessing that they were villains too. They were arguing, kinda reminds me of the trolls from The Hobbit. Look. There's a thing. One of them said as they saw me. I sighed. I'm a human, and who, or what, are you? We're the Diamond Dogs. They. That's ironic. I heard Austin scoff behind me. The big one spoke up. You can't stop us, you ugly human. Wanna bet? Nick said, raising a brow. How much? Your brains? At this point, Nick sucker punched the Diamond Dog in the face, instantly breaking his nose. The dog got up, blood pouring down his face from his nose, and his eyes were watering. Why you broke my nose? Oh, poor baby. I heard Nick snicker. Guys, enough. I yelled, and everyone and every pony went silent. Spending our time arguing won't help Princess Cadance. We have to get going. You're right, Cam, Dylan said, in his quiet tone. Fine. Let's go. Nick snarled. They aren't worth our trouble. I looked at Rarity and smiled. They won't hurt you no more. Thanks, darling, she said happily. I looked forward again at the Diamond Dogs. I mean it. If you touch her, I will break your friends' noses. Understand? They nodded, in awe. Now get. Nick yelled, and they sprang up and ran away, as if the devil were after them. Now this is over, we can get to Cadance without any interference, I said, in a quiet tone. Let's go. Dominic shouted, and we ran. So many things wrong with this. For me the main points are the fact that Celestia just hands out weapons to anyone including a katana, something that unless the Japanese invaded in a previous time I doubt would exist, let alone in Celestia's hammer space. So the brave group traveled to the castle, in less than 200 words. Let's just get there, I said quietly, and we got to her room. Oddly, Chrysalis wasn't in the throne. But Princess Cadance was tied up on the floor. I ran to her and untied her, and Chrysalis showed up. Chrysalis? I shouted. Miss me? Queen Chrysalis said, with a smirk. I have a party set up for you. Then there was changelings surrounding us. Great, a trap? Dash yelled. Then, our weapons began to glow. Your weapons are charged? Twee said, amazed. We held up our weapons, shooting out powerful beams of energy at the changelings. They all were on the ground. WHO! Austin shouted. Now that's what we're talking about. Chrysalis growled, more furious than ever. Fine. If my minions can't defeat you, I will, she shouted, as she disappeared. HMPH what now? Austin asked sarcastically. Then the castle shook. The castle's about to collapse, I yelled, as I picked up Princess Cadance and made my way down the stairs. The others followed. I kept going down all the steps until I saw a doorway of light. There, I yelled, as we sprinted towards the doorway. Oh boy, we were mere seconds from going down with that castle. We did it, Twee said, as she panted. Yep, Fluttershy said. Let's head back to Ponyville, Princess Cadance said. Going to stop here, I quite. Not only is this so unexciting that not even the image of a room of 1,000 scantily clad chrysalises could revive my attention. Also, if there is one thing that bugs me about changelings are evil, FICS is the constant. Changeling hate and never getting enough love in 9 good serves. Or changelings for short. Wait, I can't hate changelings, let me leave you with this review, as I retire to think of a new acronym. Maybe changelings love invading this over-repeated idiotic story.